All right, let's talk about one of the most important battles we ever face. The one that happens right inside our own heads. We're going to dive into how to deal with that negative inner voice and actually turn it from an inner critic into your own inner captain.
Seriously, have you ever felt that? You're just trying to go about your day or maybe fall asleep, and your mind is just going a mile a minute. It feels like it's actively working against you, bringing up every little thing you've ever done wrong. It can be exhausting, like you're in a constant fight with yourself.
And this is exactly what it sounds like, right? You're getting ready to go out, and that little voice just pops up, feeding you all this self-doubt and anxiety. It's a pattern, and it can really mess with everything, from your confidence to your motivation to just get out the door.
So let's properly introduce this opponent, the inner critic. This isn't just some random noise in your head. No, it's a powerful force that can make your world feel a whole lot smaller. But here's the key. To take back control, you first have to understand where it even comes from.
Okay, this is so important to get. Your mind isn't actually trying to be your enemy. It's just trying to do its job. It's this ancient, hardwired system that's designed to keep you safe by constantly scanning for threats and asking what could go wrong. The only problem is, in our modern world, that system is kind of stuck in overdrive.
This pretty much sums up the choice we all have. Trying to fight your thoughts, it's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It just makes them louder and stronger. There's even a name for this. The more you try to push a thought away, the more it bounces back. So what's the alternative? Well, it's shifting your whole approach. Start treating your mind like a partner, not an enemy. And that's where you start to find some real peace.
I absolutely love this metaphor. Just picture it. You are the big, open sky. Your thoughts, both the good and the bad ones, are just clouds drifting by. You don't have to grab onto every single dark cloud and pick it apart, right? You can just notice it's there and then let it float on by. That's how you get your mental space back.
So, okay, understanding is the first piece of the puzzle. What's next? It's all about action. And it all begins with one single, really powerful idea. You just have to take that first step, without waiting for anyone to tell you it's okay.
This is so crucial. It's a rule for life that's just way too easy to forget. We're always waiting, aren't we? Waiting for a sign, for a boss, for a friend to say go ahead. But the real truth is, the only permission you've ever needed is your own.
Because here's the thing, while you're sitting there waiting for that perfect moment or for someone else to give you the green light, life is just happening. Opportunities are passing you by, and that initial spark of courage starts to fade. Waiting feels safe, but honestly, it's the most dangerous place for your dreams to be.
All right, so how do you actually do it? It's so much simpler than you might think. You don't need more money or a different starting line. You just start with what you have right now from where you are. Take one tiny step today. It could be anything, writing one paragraph, making one phone call. It might feel small, but those small steps, that's how you build momentum that nothing can stop.
So if taking action is the engine, then changing your thoughts is how you steer the car. Let's get into some really practical tools, simple things you can do to challenge that inner critic and literally rewrite the script that's been playing in your head.
Our brains just love to take shortcuts, and that leads to these kinds of thinking traps. We make one mistake and suddenly we label ourselves a failure. We just assume a negative future with zero evidence, or we take all the blame when something goes wrong. The real game changer is learning to spot these patterns and then consciously choosing a more realistic way to think about it. This isn't about being fake positive, it's just about being more accurate.
Here's your go-to toolkit for when that critic gets loud. First, just label the thought. Say to yourself, oh, that's just my inner critic talking. Naming it actually takes away some of its power. Second, ask yourself this really important question. Would I ever talk to a friend this way? The answer is almost always a big no. And finally, try practicing gratitude. Just shifting your focus to what's going right, even the tiny things, literally starts to rewire your brain to look for the good. So, we figured out where the critic comes from, and now we have the tools to challenge it. So, where does all this lead? It leads right here, to you finally taking the lead role in your own life and owning your story.
Man, in a world that is obsessed with speed and comparing ourselves to everyone else, this is such an important truth. Rushing just leads to burnout. Real strength, lasting success, that's built slowly, one step at a time, at your own pace. Your journey is yours alone, and honoring that is a huge act of self-respect.
We put so much pressure on ourselves to have our whole lives figured out, right? To see the final picture on the puzzle box.
But that's just not how life works. It's really about the journey of finding each piece, one by one, and trusting that they'll all eventually come together to form a beautiful picture, one you couldn't have even imagined at the start.
Wow, this is a powerful shift in thinking. Most of us see discipline as a chore, right? A list of things we have to do. But the real transformation happens when discipline stops being an action and starts becoming part of your identity. You don't just do disciplined things, you become a disciplined person.
When you really boil it all down, past all the noise and all the advice, you get to this number. 1. You get one shot at this. This isn't a dress rehearsal. This is it. And that simple fact just puts everything we've talked about into a whole new perspective.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's this simple command. You are not a side character. You're not an extra in someone else's movie. You are the lead in your own story. So the only question left is, are you ready to act like it?